I'd like you to close your eyes and imagine your younger self in your happy place. Whether that be a beach, a park, or a grandmother's porch with a glass of iced tea. Just picture yourself wherever it is that you're most happy. As you look into the distance, you can see someone walking your way. As the image gets clearer, you realize that it's your older self. What's your initial reaction? Can you tell that you might have lost hope? Something in between on the ongoing struggle to fulfill your dreams? You may have lost belief in yourself. What is it that you say to yourself? I can see myself in my favorite park with a beautiful dam in the background, the bright blue sky and the sun shining down. I'd be doing laps around the park with my favorite bike. I'd stop short as I'd see the future Raquel. And this is what I'd say. To the future Raquel, I'd like to remind you of your favorite quote. Every generation needs a new revolution by Thomas Jefferson. When you first heard this quote, immediately you knew that you had to be a part of that revolution. This quote has followed you throughout your years as a use of inspiration and empowerment. Do you remember attending Roger Williams Park Zoo Peace Day Parade with Dr. Jane Goodall as a guest speaker? This was a risky trip due to your recent knee surgery. However, you still managed to take it. With a lot of ibuprofen and a lot of different mechanisms to keep your knee iced and elevated, you took the drive from Connecticut to Rhode Island. Do you remember why this was so important? As you were standing there, holding yourself up on your crutches, a little boy came running your way. He asked you to present your projects. You explained to him how you and your team were able to fund enough money to build a schoolhouse, a well, and solar power for a village in Dominamali. You showed him an image of the students and how happy they were with the final product. Immediately, he ran away. At first, you were intimidated. However, he came back. Do you remember what happened next? He threw a nickel in your hand. It was something as simple as you sharing your work for this little boy to feel inspired. Although just a nickel, he felt as if he was able to make a positive change. In the words of Dr. Jane Goodall, every individual matters. Every individual has a role to play. Every individual makes a difference. Every individual is capable of making a positive change, no matter what background, socioeconomic status, or age. It's the small local changes within your community that cause this global effect. You started head-on with a project in Africa. You and your team raised enough money through various fundraisers to fund a schoolhouse, a well, and solar power for both. Not only did this provide clean drinking water for those in need, it also provided a shelter for the students to gain an education, as well as solar power for adults to receive night classes. You continued in high school with an annual Thanksgiving food drive. This food drive was able to provide over 200 families with a Thanksgiving meal. You and your team came together. Not only did you collect non-perishable items, but you also raised enough money to provide a frozen turkey, fresh fruit, and fresh vegetables. The community within your school came together to hand decorate boxes, which would later be hand-delivered the Monday before Thanksgiving. Your projects became smaller and smaller as you had a one-for-one food drive on 9/11. This date, you asked every student in your school to bring one item. This would be equivalent to about 3,000 items, almost the same amount of lives lost on 9/11. The first year, you received over 4,000 items. The second year, you wanted to double your goal. People thought you were joking. However, when you heard over the announcements that you raised over 8,000 items, you were almost in tears. Not only were you happy of the work that you were able to accomplish, but you were also so proud of your team and your community and how everyone was able to come together and make such a positive day out of a negative day. I'd like to remind the future Raquel that although it might be difficult in college to provide the active time and to provide the funds for active charity, it doesn't stop there. It's a matter of dialogue between two individuals to empower and strengthen each other to accomplish each other's dreams. Working with Roots and Shoots' College Council, you're able to travel and meet new people every day in order to educate, empower, and inspire the youth around you. This was a campaign we had for Jane Goodall's 80th birthday. You went around and shared Jane Goodall's story with students in your community. Do you remember how inspired they were? Who is the next boy with the nickel? Who knows what that boy with the nickel went on to do? Who can you inspire next? We as a youth are growing up in the digital ages, meaning that millions of people within seconds can hear your voice. Use this to your advantage. Speak for those who have been silenced, and never lose your voice. Through Roots and Shoots, you've actively worked in different campaigns and different marches. This is an I Matter march. It's a protest for the youth to come up and activate for themselves in order to provide a better environment and help global climate change, as well as the Peace Day campaign. You only wish for equal rights for everyone to have an equal education around the world. Be thankful for your supporters, your family, your educators, and your mentors. These are the people that not only give you your drive, but they kept you going. Take out your Post-it notes. These are Post-it notes filled with messages of love and compliments, which your Roots and Shoots family has provided. You carry these around with you everywhere, Raquel. Whenever you feel down, just take them out. I'd like to read you the top one. You're a great leader, a great smiler, and a great friend. You did a bunch of things today that reminded me of how great you are. Follow those who empower you. Stick with those who inspire you. Because of them, you grew up believing that you could change the world. And because of this, you were able to accomplish all of your dreams. I'd like you to go back to your happy place. Close your eyes and bring yourself back to that park. Do one last lap. Breathe one last breath of fresh air. I'd like you to keep in mind that everyone can make a change. Never lose your love for service. Find that innocence and hope you had as a child and carry that with you. And future Raquel, just in case you forgot, you can still change the world. Thank you.